Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the series Wednesday. It's time to recall, let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The episode starts with a rainy day and we see a bunch of black umbrellas as the townspeople attend Mayor Walker's funeral, who we saw was killed by an unknown person in the previous episode. We focus on Wednesday, who talks about how she usually enjoys funerals and has been crashing them ever since she was old enough to read the obituary. She looks around at everyone, saying that she knows that the mayor was murdered and that the killer is among them, standing here innocently and plotting their next move. Keeping an eye on everything Wednesday does. That she knows she is close to the truth and has all the pieces of the mystery, but has not been able to slot them together correctly. As the funeral proceeds and people disperse, Wednesday is standing alone when she notices a shadowed figure looking at her from behind some trees. Instantly on the alert, Wednesday rushes after the figure but loses sight of them once deep inside the forest. She looks around when suddenly someone jumps down from the tree and Wednesday brandishes a sword from her umbrella's handle. The man holds the sword between his two hands and sends an electric shock down the blade, making Wednesday drop the weapon and look up at him incredulously. The man says that Wednesday is still as sharp as ever, and we see Wednesday break into a wide smile. The man is her father's brother, her Uncle Fester. Fester tells Wednesday that he needs a place to lay low for a few days while he also checks in on her. He's also intrigued by all the murderous mayhem going on at her school and reminisces about being at the school before. Although he was never a student there, he used to visit Wednesday's father when he was a student and is familiar with the school grounds. Wednesday takes Fester to Eugene's bee shack where she tells him not to eat the hibernating bees as they belong to a friend. Fester laughs, surprised that she made a friend. He then asks her if she knows what kind of monster she's dealing with, and Wednesday shows him one of Xavier's drawings of the creature. Fester recognizes the monster, saying that it's a hide and that they were banned from the academy years ago. He recalls meeting a woman in therapy who had turned into a hide during a concert that she was playing at. Wednesday considers this information in frustration, saying that there isn't any mention of any such creature in any of Nevermore's books, and they're supposed to have a reputably good selection. To this, Fester asks if she checked out Nathaniel Faulkner's diary, who, before founding Nevermore, traveled around the world, cataloging every outcast community out there. When Wednesday asks how he knows about the diary, he says that once when he was visiting his brother at the school, Gomez had set him up in the Nightshade Library as he and Morticia were otherwise occupied. During the night, Fester had snooped around and found a locker, which to his disappointment did not contain any money or jewels, but had this diary. This is where he had first found out about hides too. Wednesday says that they'll go into the Nightshade Library that night and leaves with another warning to her uncle to stay away from the bees. Back in her room, Wednesday writes and then takes a break by taking out the music box she had picked up from Laurel Gate's bedroom and broods over it. In the meantime, Enid returns to the room, saying that she's looking for her nail polish. Wednesday is rude to her and lists all the habits she finds annoying in Enid, and Enid returns the favor. The two of them argue, and Enid says that Yoko is begging to be her roommate for the rest of the school year. Hearing this, Wednesday turns around and says that she won't hold Enid back. Enid leaves, telling Wednesday to enjoy her solitude. Later that night, Wednesday goes to the Nightshade Library where she finds Xavier. They exchange a few scathing dialogues before Xavier points out that she doesn't know who her real friends are, as he's been on her side since day one and all he's gotten in return is suspicion and lies. Wednesday retorts by saying that he's always been near whenever the monster has attacked, plus there are his drawings of the creature, which he makes despite never having seen the creature. After Xavier leaves, Fester shows himself and there is a brief scene of him meeting up with Thing and the two of them fighting. After Wednesday puts a stop to their antics, they go to the locker which Thing breaks into. Wednesday puts the journal in her bag. Back in her room, they look through it and find the entry on hides. Faulkner describes a hide as a mutation that lays dormant in a person's body. They can be summoned via a traumatic event, chemical inducement, or hypnosis. Once the creature is freed, it sees its liberator as its master and is happy to do the master's bidding henceforth. While Wednesday and Uncle Fester are talking, Miss Thornhill arrives to talk to her about Enid. But Wednesday says she's fine with being alone despite Miss Thornhill's persistent questions. The following day, Wednesday overhears Xavier talking to someone on the phone, which intrigues her and she decides to follow him with help from Uncle Fester. They get into his funny bike and sidecar which he stole from a dog walker. Xavier meets with Dr. Kinbot in the woods and confesses to her that he has had a dream in which she is killed. The therapist seems to be having secret sessions with the student, and Wednesday wants to tell Principal Weems this, fully believing that Kinbot is controlling Xavier, who is the hide. But when she goes to the principal's office, the therapist is already there, making it impossible for Wednesday to talk to Weems openly. Kinbot is saying that she'll be writing a report to the judge about Wednesday's lack of progress. Weems tries to take Wednesday's side, and Wednesday then proposes that they have a hypnotherapy session. Kinbot agrees. She tells Fester her theory at the Weathervane coffee shop. Tyler heads over to chat, even though his father has forbidden him from socializing with the outcast. Wednesday shows him the drawing, but the sheriff interrupts their conversation. Tyler tries to take the blame, but the sheriff isn't that bothered anyway. He has a thief to find. Sheriff Galpin hands out posters of the bank robber, and it is very clearly Uncle Fester. Wednesday notices that her uncle has disappeared before the sheriff could spot him. Tyler asks Wednesday out on a date, and she reluctantly accepts. Before leaving for their date, Wednesday says goodbye to Thing and leaves him in charge. Tyler sets up a romantic picnic for Wednesday in Crackstone's crypt. They watch Legally Blonde, which is a horror movie in Wednesday's eyes. Later on, Tyler says he wants to be more than friends, and Wednesday tries to warn him that he's making a mistake. But Tyler will have none of it, and just as they're about to kiss, the sheriff arrives. He's angry to find his son with Wednesday yet again, but decides to pretend he didn't see them. He's looking for the robber and thought he might be hiding in the crypt. When Wednesday returns to her room, she finds it completely wrecked, and worst of all, she finds Thing pinned to the wall with a dagger. She immediately takes out the dagger and rushes her friend to Fester. Wednesday watches with tears in her eyes as Fester tries to bring the hand back to life. It almost seems that they've lost Thing when he finally regains consciousness. Wednesday is rattled by this attack and also enraged at the diary being stolen from her room. However, she tells her uncle that he should leave as the police are after him. He agrees and says he'll leave in the morning after monitoring Thing the whole night. He also tells Wednesday that she's his favorite. Wednesday then rolls up her sleeves and gets to work, stitching up Thing's wound. The next day, Wednesday informs Weems about the break-in in her room, and it is revealed that Weems is aware of the diary and that the monster is a hide. But she is unwilling to share this information with police as she's scared of putting the school in danger of a bad reputation. Wednesday is very frustrated by this, saying that due to Weems' reluctance of sharing this information, she has put lives at risk, like Eugene, who is still in a coma. After this unproductive meeting, Wednesday is accosted by Bianca and Lucas. They have information on the mayor's death. Lucas hands Wednesday a file saying that he was investigating Laurel Gates around the time of his death and had been doing so since Outreach Day. As it turns out, the Gates mansion was bought by a 90-year-old heiress who mysteriously died and passed her fortune on to her caregiver, Teresa L. Glau. This is an anagram of Laurel Gates. They work out that Laurel bought her old house and took on a new identity. She has returned to reap her revenge after her brother Garrett Gates was killed and her two parents also died in the aftermath. Laurel has targeted those who covered it up: the mayor, the coroner, and Gomez Addams. Wednesday suspects the monster is doing Laurel's bidding for her. Then Wednesday visits her therapist, Dr. Kinbot. She passes her the ballerina music box and accuses her therapist of murder. She thinks the doctor is Laurel and the monster is Xavier. Dr. Kinbot claims to be innocent and fears that Wednesday is having some kind of mental breakdown and goes to call Weems, about to suggest that they put Wednesday in a psychiatric institution. Wednesday is unfazed by this and leaves. Kinbot calls Weems and is about to tell her what happened, but she is attacked by the Hide. In the next scene, we see Principal Weems and Wednesday in the hospital awaiting news. Sheriff Galpin comes in to inform that Kinbot could not survive. Then Wednesday heads to Xavier's art studio to conclude her thoughts with Kinbot's accomplice. Xavier's place is teeming with evidence. Wednesday finds Rowan's inhaler, Eugene's glasses, the doctor's necklace, photographs of Wednesday, and a painting of Dr. Kinbot being attacked. Xavier is subsequently arrested, all thanks to Wednesday's careful investigation. The sheriff thanks Wednesday for her assistance as Xavier stares at Wednesday, shocked at this turn of events. Later, Wednesday returns to her room to find Enid back. Enid says that ever since she had left, there was a break-in and Thing almost died. She needs to be here to look out for them. Wednesday asks her what changed her mind about not rooming with Yoko, and Enid replies that she and Wednesday work well together, like some weird friendship anomaly. Wednesday is happy to hear this, and instead of telling Enid that she missed her, she says that Thing said he missed Enid. The two of them reconcile, and on Enid's insistence, Wednesday goes to visit Tyler at Weathervane. Tyler tells her he heard about Xavier and how crazy it all is. Wednesday says that all the recent happenings have made her realize who she can trust. Tyler asks her if this means she's ready to be more than friends, and in response, Wednesday steps up to him and they share a kiss. This sends Wednesday into another one of her psychic visions, and she sees Dr. Kinbot being attacked by the monster. We see the monster slowly return to its human form, and it is Tyler. Wednesday wakes up and tells Tyler that she needs to leave. In shock, she runs out of the cafe. She thinks to herself that of course the first boy she ever kissed turned out to be a serial-killing monster. As Wednesday runs back to school, the episode ends. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get more recap video of Wednesday.